part of our understanding of the multiplicity of the face of the faces of Schina. It is to do with what is possible sometimes to understand or to perceive at a certain given time, at a certain I would say that each portion of the week of Torah is opening in an arena in which we can something in that arena is prepared for us. It's not so much to do with better understanding, it's to do with more to do with an admission of a perception that we allow to percolate and to penetrate to our being. Okay, so this week we are holding we're reading the portion of Korach, which has to do with a discord. Has to do with a discord between Moses and one can say the part of the left which is to do with Levi, with the function of how this left side can join, not only can, but what kind of function it fulfills inside the completion of the picture of the picture of all spirits or system or net of spirits coming together. So it's actually about discord and peace. We need to look at two things. So first, I would like to start with the fact that the very fact of Schina being present among humans is to do with the insurance, one can say, or with the safety of ensuring the completion of the sort of creation, or the completion of our evolving into the image in which we were created. So there are two things. First, we need to understand that Schina or divinity being a collateral in the hands of humanity cause, because we speak about Schina as a being, cause in her a lot of pain and agony for not being with the light that she knows she ought to be with, which, let's say, the Zohar would call or her husband. Something that not only makes the humanity whole, but makes the whole world, and worlds in plural, in terms of all the higher structures, full and functioning as they ought to be, okay? As they should be. So there are two things in it. First, the divinity being a collateral is to do with how actually she presents herself in the person as a, one can say, as a light of consciousness that without, let's say, without proper ecology, feel itself or define itself as separate. Okay? So understanding that it is a collateral from the creator, one need to actually join all those consciousness willingly and knowingly. So they actually know that they can use the collateral in only for achieving the purpose. Any other use of our existence or our life is being judged, definitely from the moment that we are aware and it is awakened. So first, we need to examine the plurality, okay? Or the fact that humanity is not a singular being in its expression in reality. Though the roots or the root of it is. So if we go to Genesis, to the creation of Adam or creation of man, if you have your Bibles in English and you go to Genesis, okay, it's called the creation of man, and actually it's the creation of Adam, which is, it's not the same. Okay. And God said, let us make a man or Adam in our image, after our likeness. If you want to find it, it's Genesis Genesis 1 verse 26. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping things that creepeth upon the earth. Okay. So first, we need to see that in the first chapter of Genesis, there is a different voice in relation to creation of Adam, or the creation of humanity. It has to do with the difference of how it is written from the beginning. All the edicts of creation is, let there be firmament, let there be light, yeah, and there was. Okay, so there is sort of a pulse of, one can say, of a commandment of light that has God or Elohim, which means Binah, executing it. So the executor of, one can say, the one who brings from recognized potentiality and brings it into actuality, we call it Binah. So there is this relationship of building, of creating the world. Let there be light, and there was light. But here, when we come to humanity, there is a difference. It's sort of consulting. Bina, it has a femininity, flavor to it, because it accepts wisdom, and it uses wisdom in a very particular conditioned way to tie herself to to one of the qualities of the Creator, which is the ability to bestow. So actually, this is not the voice of the Creator. This is the voice of Bina. I saw through the creation of the world and the lights and the firmament and heaven and earth, that there need to be a consciousness that will be a witness to all that, that will represent the consciousness of the Creator. So it's not let it be, yeah, let there, but it let us make or create it. It's more accurate, because to make is something else. Let us create Adam in our image, meaning consciousness that will reflect as well receiving and bestowal in the right way. Something that will be, one can say, a representative of the consciousness of the Creator upon everything that has been created, and it will be in dominion. But then we see we go further. You'll see in a minute the connection. When it is said the creation of men, so 27. So God created Adam in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. And God blessed them. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply. So the first consciousness, or the first, one can say, this is an edict, or what is called mitzvah, which has to do with an order that is a law, that should be understood and accepted as a law. The law of humanity is to be in, as, let's say, the law of humanity is society, not a unique person, or which is male and female, but the multiplicity of its consciousness coming out to multiply, which is not only in numbers. It's not a question of only numbers, it's a question of revelation. Definitely in Hebrew, when you multiply or copulate, you reveal all those qualities and features in oneself that were concealed. So there will be everything that is concealed in the father or the mother is being revealed in the produce. So in order for humanity to actually fulfill its true image, it needs to be in multiplicity, meaning what we call in plural, and to find the way how to unify in such a way that each one will not cancel the other, but find a way to join it, okay? To join one another without canceling one another, okay? But it cannot be that humanity, because the question will be, why do we need so many people? Why we need this multiplicity? Why it was not enough, just, one can say, Adam and Eve, or male and female, as to actually withhold the whole evolution of humanity. It needs to come out in terms of, there is so many things that are being concealed in the root of it. So this is the first the first act, or one can say the first path, is to do with actually completion of ourself, is to know ourself, not through ourself, but through others. So it's already there. So the question of being, of living a collateral in the image of divinity among humanity failed, but so it was sort of it was given to Israel to be the guardians of that consciousness. This collateral is the memory or the reminder through divinity of the need, okay, to find a way to complete ourselves with each other. So the question of Korach saying that we are all Israel, yeah. We all witnessed the giving of Torah. We all witnessed the revelation on Mount Sinai. So we are already in a state of kingdom of priests and holy people or sacred people. So it's a yearning for the end of Reformation. It's a wish. Never mind if it's coming from calculated motive or a hidden agenda of actually grasping more power. What I'm saying is that it is very important to understand the true feature of the question or the problem that Korach is presenting, regardless of his hidden agenda. Okay. It is very important to understand that actually he's asking why we need, why we're not equal. If we were created equal in the face of the Creator, why actually our reformation or our work is not on equal terms in each other? Why we need a giver of Torah or Rav, or in that respect a priest and a Levi and Israel? Why they need to be not only 3 stages but steps? Okay. All this is something that our sages, specifically to do with the later ages, like the appearance of Hasidut, saw it as a rightful question. And therefore they said that regardless of what we see as an outcome of the discord and dispute and rebellious mode against Moses and Aaron, the produce of it, which is to do very much with the first decree of multiply, is that since then, since this dispute or discord, justice or truth will never lie in one side. It means that every claim against or for has something in it that need to be revealed and put together as the completeness, which is the true or deep meaning of peace. It's not to do with resting. It's to do with completion. completion of humanity as a whole. This is why there is no other vessel which is more suitable for the purpose of the Creator than peace, because it speaks about completion. It speaks about the fact that in each spirit, even if it's in a form of a seed, even if it's unknowing, there is some grain of truth that needs to come out. What Moses need to in a way prove that he did not choose the degrees and levels of reformation, that he himself and Aaron were chosen, and they were chosen as it expressed itself on the loom, or if you like, on the stuff of Aaron, that there, in the time of Reformation, there are degrees. Some people are in the form of a bud, some people are in the form of a flower, and some people are in the form of an almond, meaning whole in all the, well, from wherever you bite, there's no difference. It's the same taste, it's the same meaning. But it is not only in the personal state, it has to do with the form of completion, evolution, and reformation of all humanity. So when there is still parts of the spirit that need to reform, there will always be a difference of some people who have attained the picture or the full picture of reformation, and there will be the guide for those who are yet to complete themselves and to grow into it, till we get to the world to come, in which no one will teach another. Everyone will know the Creator. Okay, so till then, divinity, or one can say the feminine part of that grid or web of spirits that had diminished itself into the separated world, is the reminder, and then one can say a collateral through which we can understand how to use the gift of our life. So we are borrowing with consciousness. Okay, so this is the let's say the frame of the idea of the name of divinity as a collateral. It has another part in this name, which is called in Hebrew Mishkan. Okay, not only collateral, but as well a magnet, meaning an understanding that draw us to run after it. Means where does divinity run to? She runs to her completion. She runs into the state in which she can be united with her husband. So revealing this part in ourselves as a collateral start to act in us as a magnet towards the purpose of our existence, or definitely the purpose of our life.